Virgo sun, moon, ascendant. And if you have a lot of Virgo aspects, you want to pay attention to this. Here we go. Well, Virgo, it looks like you have been maybe considering different options in terms of love affairs, romance, sexual relationships, that kind of thing. I think that you recognize that you like unusual people around you, and in so many interesting ways. You may, though, attract a lot of people to you that have depression problems and things like that are going on in their lives. And that's partially because you really understand when someone's in a depressed mode, because you've been there yourself quite a bit, you know? So I think you're a really good helper to help other people who may be experiencing depression. And you're going to get that opportunity because of the people you attract. You're not completely out of the woods when it comes to your own not being happy with yourself or your things that you're doing either. You may have presented a certain way and for a long time you didn't show up even for yourself. So I think the coming days are going to call you out on that and do some healing on it. So I think March is going to be a really good month for you to, review where you've been, what you've been doing. And you may do that through the reflection of others' eyes. Maybe you'll see yourself in some of them and recognize where you were and see how far you've come out of your situation. You have not been 100% happy in the work environment that you've been in. However, I would say just hang in there. If you try to follow something that's more in line with your spiritual beliefs or your naturalness, I think you'll find yourself a lot happier. You're also obviously a really good analyzer. So if you could be in a job where you're picking apart something or organizing something and analyzing it, you do really well in that area. You may find someone in the work environment who isn't really giving their best, and you've had to watch this. I mean, I think this might be an opportunity for you to speak up and to make some changes in your work environment by speaking truth. You may have a harder time with speaking truth, though, than some, not because you don't like to be truthful, but because you don't like conflict and you don't like having to deal with confrontation. So this may be part of your next level of elevation in terms of your person. Let it flow. Let it go. Do what you got to do. I think, Virgo, you're going to recognize that you have restricted yourself in your life with your belief systems about a lot of things. So self-imposed restrictions, limitations, addictions, compulsions, obsessions, these kinds of things you're going to be looking at, things that you carry, and that you're going to probably recognize these things to be of someone from your past, and maybe it's from experiences in relationships that have put you there, kind of turned on that thinking for you. This is going to be an interesting month for you to release it, to let it go, to move forward, and to make the best of your understanding of how you've lived your life. True love, you have fantasized that you wish to be more available to you. But when you look at how you've chosen in your relationships, I'd say that you're going to be pretty harsh on yourself. A lot of Virgos will say that they've chose wrongly because of their own broken spirits. So this is going to be a really good month at the very least for you to acknowledge truth, see self, reduce the things you don't like, polish up the things you do like, and helping other people that may have gone through some of the same things that you're going through. There will be some healing or working through some relationship issues where one of those people were power tripping over you, took you for granted, took advantage of your kindness, took advantage of your vulnerabilities, those types of things. I think you're going to be calling some people out, even if you don't actually do it to their face. You're going to do it to yourself. So you're going to say, yes, this happened. I'm really upset with that. Or this is what I learned from this. And this is how I want to move forward. So I really like what I see here. This month of March is going to be a moving month. It's going to be a month where you're going to shake out some shit and wipe out the problem areas and make room for a new garden. That's what I see there. As far as the work environment, I do see you working hard. giving it all. You're a very good worker. People who hire you are always happy with your performance, because you really give back what they want. So that's a really good thing. Yeah, I kind of see you in a dating mode. So even if you're in a relationship with someone, you're going to be, going back and forth in your mind, asking yourself, is this really the one you want? Is this really the kind of relationship you want? You may be experiencing some domination. This might be your weak spot, eh? In relationships in general, you may find yourself dominated by the other one, maybe because you're easygoing and you're mutable and you go with the flow kind of thing. I think that has been a big problem for you, really, over many years in many relationships, where you're too easygoing and people would take advantage of it, or not take the moment, or take a moment to see what you need, who you are, and how you need things too. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to speak up. You don't have to feel like you're confronting, just sharing. Let's look at this a little differently, okay? Virgo, you're going to want to do a little bit of traveling or getting out of Dodge kind of thing, but you may not be able to go because of responsibilities with the workplace and the work environment. Some of you will be looking at your work environment thinking, this isn't it. This is not what I want. A lot of Virgo people, I think, are going to want to get more involved in spiritual workplaces or spiritual activity. I think a lot of you are involved in labor-intense types of jobs, and some of you really need to shift that energy, get more involved in spiritual jobs, even psychic jobs or astrology, or, doing some sort of healing modality that's a little different, alternative type of healing. I think that those types of things would be better for you, to be honest. When you stop and look at who you are, what you are about, who you have become, I think that you really like your uniqueness, your quality of spirituality, and your quality of how you feel about yourself, or how you sense yourself, feel yourself. I like what I see there, for sure. But as far as relationships and love affairs and stuff like that, I think you're going to be doing more healing and communicating about the relationship either you were in or that you are in. If you are in a relationship that's had some problems, you're going to have those talks, and some of them will end up in small arguments. Some of them could, turn the argument could turn into lack of wanting to get close, or lack of wanting to touch the other person. So this could affect your tactile experience. You don't want to get close. You don't want to get intimate. So you may pull back from some relationships because of that. And if you're in a relationship that isn't really what you want, this is going to be the month you talk about it with that person and reveal how you feel. Probably near the end of March that'll happen. You'll be thinking about it, though, for all the other weeks of March. And the worst part is, if you want to stay where you're at, let's say you both own the same house and you don't want to move, I think the worst part there will be you'll want the other person to get out of the way, but they maybe won't, or maybe can't. So you're going to have some leeway for some of that, and maybe just try your best to turn the relationship into a friendship and acknowledge each other's needs for where you're at. So I'm being told to tell you to be cautious. If you're trying to come out of a relationship, it's probably not a good idea to get involved or to reinstigate a love with somebody else or relationships with someone else, even if you're looking at those people in, let's say, Tinder or something like that. So no, stay out of bringing in another person until you've cleared the way for them to come in, okay? I don't think you're going to be able to, just walk away from your job. Some of you might, maybe the ones that were doing really, really well is because you like it. The people who aren't giving out all their best in a work environment is because they don't like it. Those people will be called out. So you, Virgo, if you're a person who is not giving all your best in your work environment because you don't like it, this is when someone's going to call you out on that, and you may end up jeopardizing your job. So I ask you to be very careful, okay? Because your money situation is not 100% where you want it to be, and you need to be a little more in control of what's going to happen around that. Okay.